Despite the loss, DePaul can take some positives away from the game. DePaul's 37 points in the third quarter is their second highest total for a quarter on the season. DePaul not only feels pressure within the Big East Conference, but also from Chicago area schools like Northwestern, who made the NCAA tournament for the first time in 2017. There's been a push on both sides to mobilize voters, especially millennials and college students. And with the midterm elections just under a week away, some DePaul students are saying they're paying attention to the issues now more than ever.
Ryan Witry is here now with Good Day DePaul Sports. So Ryan, a big honor for a DePaul basketball player.
That's right, Paul. DePaul women's basketball guard Kelly Campbell was named a finalist for the John Wooden Citizenship Cup Award. The award goes to athletes who display character, teamwork, and citizenship. It's given to one professional athlete, one collegiate athlete, and 2 high school athletes every year. Campbell, a junior from Wall, New Jersey, has spent the past 2 summers working at homes for at-risk children in Guatemala and the Dominican Republic. She's one of 5 college athletes nominated for the award. Finally, DePaul junior Christopher Casati was named the Big East Male Athlete of the Week in tennis for his hot start to the season. Casati, an all-Big East performer last year, took a 3-set victory over Dipin Wadwa, helping give DePaul a narrow 4-3 victory over Green Bay. And Christopher Casati is a really terrific player, great athlete, a joy to watch out there on the court.
Yes.
The Brewers ended a 7-year playoff drought by winning the National League Central title over the Chicago Cubs in Game 163. But Brewers fans here at Will's Northwoods Tavern are looking for so much more.
Ryan is here now with Good Day DePaul Sports. So Ryan, it was a tough loss for the women's basketball team.
That's right, Ariana. DePaul's bid for a 6th straight regular season Big East title took a major hit right after New Year's with a blowout loss on the road to Marquette. Following that loss, DePaul won 5 out of 6 games before their rematch at McGrath-Phillips Arena in Lincoln Park. Despite Shante Stonewall's 21 points, the Blue Demons couldn't overcome a poor first-half performance against a ranked Marquette team. It was a packed crowd at McGrath-Phillips Arena. Meanwhile, some good news for the women's basketball team. Forward Marte Graves was named the Big East Player of the Week. This after Graves scored a career-high 31 points in DePaul's win over Villanova. And another honor for the Blue Demons' Kelly Campbell. Campbell is one of 10 finalists for the Nancy Lieberman Award. The award goes to the top point guard in Division I basketball. Former DePaul women's basketball standout Allie Quigley recently signed a new contract with the Chicago Sky of the WNBA. Quigley, 32, graduated from DePaul in 2008 and is coming off a season when she averaged 15.4 points per game and had back-to-back All-Star Game appearances, where she won the 3-point contest in 2017 and 2018. The DePaul softball team under new head coach Tracy Addick-Sins got off to a great start to their season at the Total Control Invitational here in suburban Rosemont. The Blue Demons won all 5 games in the tournament, taking a pair of victories over the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, as well as wins over Evansville, the University of Missouri-Kansas City, and Purdue-Fort Wayne. DePaul will play in 5 more tournaments across the country before starting conference play at the end of March. The men's tennis team is continuing their strong start to the season, following a 6-1 victory over Youngstown State in Lincoln Park. It's their 4th straight victory, which includes conference wins over Georgetown and Creighton. Finally, in track and field, DePaul won 3 events at the Spire Classic in Ohio. Alex Murray won the men's shot put, Emily Eller took first place in the women's shot put, and Jade Nolan won the women's triple jump. Nolan's effort, along with her 3rd place finish in the long jump, led her to be honored as the Big East Field Athlete of the Week. So a great honor for a great athlete, Ariana.
Yeah, great way to start the season.
Ryan Witry is with us for Good Day DePaul Sports. So Ryan, some big honors for DePaul basketball.
That's right, Madison. 4 different Blue Demons were honored when the Big East announced its postseason women's basketball awards. Leading scorer Marte Graves was named to the All-Big East first team for the 2nd year in a row, while Shante Stonewall was named to the conference 2nd team. Ashton Milliner won the Big East Sportsmanship Award, and Lexi Held was a unanimous choice for the all-freshman team. And the good times keep rolling for the Blue Demons, who won the Big East tournament for the 2nd year in a row. was a thrilling 74-73 victory over Marquette. Heading into the tournament, the Blue Demons were riding an 8-game win streak and were able to get their title defense started with a big 85-60 victory over the Providence Friars in the quarterfinals game at Wintrust Arena. DePaul got off to a hot start in the first quarter. Following their win on Sunday, DePaul moved on to face Creighton on Monday night. Marte Grace led the team with 20 points en route to an 80-69 victory to move on to yet another Big East championship game on Tuesday against Marquette. DePaul then won that game in exciting fashion, taking their fourth Big East tournament win in 6 years. Shantae Stonewall led the team with 28 points, including an old-fashioned three-point play as she scored on a drive to the basket, got fouled, and then made the free throw that would give DePaul a 1-point lead with just 5 seconds left, a lead that held up when Marquette missed the final shot.
DePaul, your Big East champs, on the heroics of Stonewall.
What an amazing game, and some honors for the men's basketball team. Senior guard Max Struess was named to the All-Big East second team. He's the first DePaul men's player to be named to either the first or second team since 2008. During the regular season, Struess averaged 19 points and 6 rebounds per game. He set a school record with 93 pointers. And sophomore Paul Reed was named the most improved player in the Big East. Reed, a 6'9" forward, averaged 13 points and 9 rebounds per game during the regular season. Founded in 2003, the Chicago Dragons became the first rugby club in the Midwest to welcome openly gay members. Now, 16 years later, the club is still going strong. I had a chance to learn more about the Dragons and their impact on the local rugby and LGBT community. Every 2 years, rugby teams from across the world come together for the Bingham Cup. And really, that's an important team for so many reasons, Paul.
It's definitely amazing what they've been able to do for that community.
Ryan Witry is here now with Good Day DePaul Sports. So Ryan, the DePaul softball team's off to a great start.
That's right, Madison. DePaul won the Hawaii tournament with a 4-2 victory over the University of New Mexico. Junior Jessica Cothern hit a 3-run homer to power the Blue Demons, who are now 13-1 on the season under new head coach Tracy Addick-Sins. Addick-Sins, a former All-American pitcher for the Blue Demons, returned to the program last July after longtime head coach Eugene Lenti left suddenly following last season. I had a chance to speak with Coach Addick-Sins and outfielder Angela Scalziti about the transition. For some coaches, coming into a program that's won the past 2 Big East softball tournaments could present some intimidating challenges. The DePaul men's basketball team has a long and storied history, from the glory days of George Mikan and Coach Ray Meyer in the 1940s to the Mark Aguirre era in the late 1970s through the modern era with Wilson Chandler. However, there's one legendary DePaul basketball player you might not have heard of, Jack Dean. I had a chance to learn more about Dean and his legacy. In July 1945, during World War II, the USS Indianapolis set sail for the Philippines. Following a pair of tough losses at home to Marquette and on the road to Butler, the DePaul men's basketball team was hoping a game against a reeling Creighton team coming off 4 straight losses might provide what the Blue Demons need to spark a late-season run towards the NIT. We'll pick this one up in the first half. In women's basketball, it's already obvious that DePaul has something special in freshman guard Lexi Held. That was confirmed once again when Held recently won the Big East Freshman of the Week for the 4th time this season. Held totaled 18 points and 6 assists and wins over Xavier and Creighton. In women's soccer, DePaul's senior forward Franny Cerny has signed a professional contract with a team in the Czech Republic. Cerny is a dual citizen of the United States and the Czech Republic. Finally, it was a good outing for the DePaul track and field squad at the Big East Indoor Championships. 5 Blue Demons won individual championships, and the women's track and field team finished second overall. Senior Jade Nolan was named the women's most outstanding performer in field events and named the women's high point co-performer of the meet. Nolan won the long jump and set a program record in the triple jump. Senior Alexia Brooks won the 60-meter hurdles, while sophomore Kirsten Walker won the 400-meter dash. Over on the men's team, senior Kyle Decker set a program record on the 60-meter hurdles, an event he's won every year of his collegiate career. Senior Kyle Hedge also won the shot put competition. So Jade Nolan's put together a really nice career. Can't wait to see what's next for her.
Me either.
In July 1945, during World War II, the USS Indianapolis set sail for the Philippines, having delivered parts for the atomic bomb that would land on Hiroshima, Japan later that year. However, the boat was struck by Japanese torpedoes and sunk. Of the nearly 1,200 men aboard the ship, some 300 died almost immediately. The nearly 900 men who survived the initial attack faced a new challenge, staying alive in shark-infested waters with little food or drinkable water. When the crew was rescued days later, only 316 men survived. Nowadays, the Indianapolis is perhaps best known for this emotional speech in Steven Spielberg's 1975 movie, Jaws.
What we didn't know was our bomb mission had been so secret, no distress signal had been sent. They didn't even list us overdue for a week.
DePaul basketball standout Jack Dean joined the Navy in 1945 after turning 18 and was aboard the Indianapolis when it sunk. Having survived the initial impact, Dean died before rescue crews arrived. However, DePaul Athletics Department historian Thad Dorn says Dean was initially reluctant to join the team, but was persuaded by his friend and fellow basketball player, Gene Stump.
So through the day, Stump convinces him to go up into this open gym and try out. So they come up, try out, and Coach Ray offers them scholarships on the spot. Takes a little bit of coercing him now, and it's a real thing. Stump, come on, what else are you going to do? Come play basketball. Once the season's over, then you can enlist. You'll be 18 by then.
DePaul women's basketball coach Doug Bruno played with Jack Dean's nephew and says Dean's story is still relevant today, nearly 75 years after his death.
Yes, he was a great player. Yes, he was a great-looking young man. Yes, he was a fun-loving young man. But at the same time, he entered the military service for this country.
Dorn says that DePaul will start awarding the Tracy Dean Scholarship, named in part after Jack Dean, to 2 basketball players a year. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Ryan Witry. Every 2 years, rugby teams from across the world come together for the Bingham Cup, a competition organized by International Gay Rugby, named after Mark Bingham, a rugby player who died during the September 11th attacks. The Chicago Dragons have attended every Bingham Cup since 2012. However, the Dragons' path to the premier tournament in International Gay Rugby has been anything but linear. Former Dragons coach Corey Ringheisen took over the team in 2010 and led them to the Bingham Cup in Manchester, England. Ringheisen says the club was primarily known for its social functions rather than their play.
So that time we started out, we were initially in the Chicago Area Rugby Football Union, CARFU, in the Division 4. And the team really, they were very enthusiastic, but they were very much known for their socials.
Former Dragons player and club member Butu Matthews says logistical problems also played into some of the issues the team faced during its early days.
I think a couple of strategic decisions kind of affected our growth. Our practice pitch was at Lerner Park up in the northwest side of the city in the West Rogers Park neighborhood. So that made it really hard for our players, especially our new players, to travel to practice.
As the first inclusive rugby team both in Chicago and the entire Midwest, the Dragons have a special place in the LGBT community in Chicago. From marching in the Chicago Pride Parade to advocating for LGBT causes. Matthews, who served on the Dragons board, helped reach out to businesses prominent in the LGBT community.
And I just felt that it was ridiculous that when those guys step up to the plate and say, hey, we'd love to support you, tell us how we can support you, that we're going to not take them up on that offer.
For Matthews, the trajectory of the Dragons from their shaky origins to the present day is reminiscent of something else.
You know, the progress and the growth that the Dragons have had is incredible because in so many ways it typifies the growth process that so many gay people experience. There's the pain, there's the joy, you know, and now it's sort of like an autopilot.
With the 2020 Bingham Cup in Ottawa, Canada, just over a year away, the Dragons are stronger than ever as they near the 20-year mark in 2023. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Ryan Witry. We'll pick this one up in the first half with this Femi Alujabi 3 to put DePaul up early. Later on in the half, Flynn Cameron knocked in 3 of his 11 points from the corner here. Cameron, who entered the game with just 19 points on the season, scored all 11 of his points in the first half. Later on in the half, Creighton Jr. Martin Krompel had the big alley-oop to put the Blue Jays up by 2 with 4.5 minutes to go in the half. Krompel led Creighton with 9 points at the half as the Blue Jays went into halftime with a 41-30 lead. The second half did not go much better for DePaul, which never led again. This Max Strus layup under the basket brought the Blue Demons within 10. Strus led all scorers with 18 points, but Tyshawn Alexander answered with this 3 later in the half. Alexander led Creighton with 16 points. Creighton would go on to win their 6th straight game at DePaul, 79-67. DePaul got off to a hot start in the first quarter thanks to Marte Gray's 6 points in the opening frame. DePaul led Providence 20-9 at the end of the quarter. Grays would continue that hot shooting into the second quarter, knocking down 3 3-pointers. However, Providence climbed their way back into the game in the second quarter thanks to this 3-pointer by Yo-Yo Nogic. Nogic, who led Providence all season with 13.3 points per game, only had 9 against DePaul, shooting just 3 for 10. At halftime, DePaul led 37-22. And the second half didn't go much better for Providence. DePaul's Ashton Millender took off, scoring 8 of her 14 points in the quarter, including this 3-pointer from the corner. DePaul never trailed in this one and put on the style in the fourth quarter, outscoring Providence 22-17 in the final frame, thanks to star freshman Lexi Held's 9 points in the quarter, including this 3-pointer. DePaul goes on to win this one 85-60.